Art of skincare, we call this Friday, and I'm sure a lot of you call it that too. It's just a fun end of the week and ready to move into our weekend time. And I thought, what better time to talk about the ANMA than now? Because the ANMA, let me show you an ANMA. The ANMA is all about releasing tension from the scalp, the face, the neck, and really anywhere on the body, because you can use the ANMA on your neck and shoulders, your legs, anywhere that you want to. The ANMA is a Japanese, it's a Japanese style of massage tool, and it is used for releasing fascia, and it is used for lymphatic drainage. So today I wanted to kind of give you some tips. If you have an ANMA at home, I'm going to give you some tips on using it. If you've never used an ANMA, maybe this will convince you that you need to give it a try. So all of us throughout the day, we hold certain expressions in our face, tension lines, squinting, even smiling. We can create some tension lines in here. We can get some TMJ going on. We get tension in our scalp. And what happens is we have a layer of fascia that covers our entire body. And this fascia really holds everything together. But what happens when we have an injury or we just have a lot of tension in our life, that fascia can get stuck. And when it's trying to protect us, it gets tight and it gets stuck. And when that happens, we have a decrease in blood flow, less water movement in the skin, less collagen production, everything just slows down. We'll see puffiness, swelling, and tension lines in the face. So as we age and we create these tension lines that we have, if we don't get in there and release some of that tension, those wrinkles and lines become deeper and deeper and more permanent. So the ANMA is all about releasing that fascia, softening it all up so that blood can flow, water movement, interstitial fluids, collagen production can increase. We can reduce puffiness and swelling. The ANMA is really important for reducing swelling in this area where we tend to see a double chin or the loss of firmness in the jawline. It's also excellent for reducing puffiness around the eyes. And so let's just dive into it. Let's get in there. Let's talk about how to use your ANMA and when to use your ANMA. So first off, let's talk about when to use your ANMA. Now, you can keep an ANMA next to your desk at work, and you can do some massage during the day, especially if you're hunching up or you're working at a computer. When the trapezius gets tight, that's one of the leading causes to a jowls loosening in this area or getting a double chin. So we want to keep that trapezius relaxed. You can also get in here and release the scalp anytime during the day. All of that is going to help reduce tension. You can do the ANMA in the evening before going to bed because it's very relaxing. But I have to tell you, probably one of the most important times to do your fascia release is in the morning while you're sleeping at night. And as you begin releasing and becoming more aware of the fascia and the feelings in your skin, you're going to notice when you wake up in the morning that fascia feels kind of crystallized. It kind of feels stuck, like there's not a lot of movement going on, and the skin can feel very sluggish. So in the morning, these crystals build up in that fascia, and we want to get in there and break all of that up. So doing your treatments in the morning is ideal, but also maybe having an ANMA at your desk at work, or even including ANMA in your evening routine to relax. All of that is fine. You can do the ANMA 2 or 3 times a day. The pressure is very light, it's very nurturing. It's not going to hurt you in any way. It's only going to help you and be good for you. So that said, I have 2 ways that I like to show people. If I'm working at my desk, I might spritz my skin with a little bit of a hydrosol. You could use an Orgade hydrosol, you could use a Botnia hydrosol, something that smells good, feels good, and is nurturing to use. Spritz with the hydrosol and then use that little slip from the water in the hydrosol to give you the movement that you need. On the scalp, you don't need anything. The hair gives you the good movement there. But there's two other ways that you can do this treatment. So another way that I like to do is especially in the morning, I like to use the Orgade cleansing oil. And I will apply cleansing oil to my face and use that to give me the slip I need for my ANMA, and then I'll emulsify it with water, and then I hop in the shower and I do my cleansing and I move on with my day. Now, some people like to do this same thing I mentioned, put the oil on and do this massage while they're in the shower. That's fabulous. You can do it that way. It works great. Another way, if you don't want to incorporate the ANMA into your washing routine, is to use a nice oil with a nice light amount of slip, not too slippery, not too heavy. I love the Orgade facial oil for that. It's an amaranth oil. I also love my Botnia Wisdom Oil. Wisdom oil is just loaded with antioxidants, so it's my favorite oil to use at nighttime. Where the organic facial oil, I often like to use that more in the daytime. It's very light and has no tint to it. As you know, if you use the Botnia Wisdom Oil, all those plant resins, it's very warm colored and very orangey yellow and just tans your whole skin when you put it on at night. And this one does not do that. So you could use this one during the day and use that to do your treatment. Now, one more thing that I found helpful for doing a treatment is you could use your conductive gel, whether you're using Michelle Corley's Ultimate Hydration Gel or you're using any of the conductive gels, Glide Gel from Neogenesis or the Hop Promoter Collagen Gel. Any of those can also be used with the ANMA. There's a mask that we love to use that's a gel mask. It's from Lemieux, and it's the lavender gel mask. That, because the lavender scent is so relaxing. Lavender puts me to sleep. It's like a sleeping drug for me. So doing in the evening, putting on that lavender mask and then doing a treatment will be very, very relaxing for most people. So let me get up here. I want to highlight what we're talking about. I'm doing my own moderation this morning. So we just talked about the cleansing oil and the facial oil. So I can get them both up there for you. There you go. So you can see both of those. So you can see there's several different ways that you can do this. When I do my ANMA in the morning, I'm using it with the cleansing oil, and I'm doing it before I even get into the shower and all of that. Or you can do it in the shower. If you want to do it in the evening, you could do it with the cleansing oil, but you're probably going to want to cleanse first, because you don't want to do your ANMA massage with the oil with a dirty face, with a lot of makeup on your face. So in the evening when I'm doing an ANMA routine, that's when I'm more likely to grab that wisdom oil or the Orgade facial oil and use that as more of that nurturing time at nighttime to relax. So I always, when I'm writing up a skincare protocol for a client, I will always kind of give them those two options. So you could do it here, or of course, if you want to, you could do it both times of the day. So let's get started. When I'm doing my own treatment on myself with my ANMA, I am going to start with one more thing, because you guys asked me this question. So I want to cover kind of these basics before we jump in. This is our ANMA that we have some of these still left in stock. This is the previous generation of the ANMA, and it is a little bit smaller than the new generation. So people have been asking me, how do you like it? Is it as good? So I just wanted to give people an idea so you can kind of see it's such a minute change. This is just a slight bit bigger. It's a little bit there. That's a good view for you to see. What happened here is that this is a little wider, And what Jane wanted to do is give you better points, pressure points, action on certain areas. So she chose to make it a little bit wider, where this one was just so narrow that what we find here is that you could get a good pressure points underneath, but this was not quite high enough. And it's just a little too tight on most people's jaw lines and cheekbone lines, that this just gives you a much nicer fit in there. They both weigh the same. But really that's the major difference when we're talking about it being bigger. It's slightly longer, but it's a fair amount wider, so that you get that, just so you know. People have been asking. Now you know, that's the slight difference. And I was bummed out when I found out she was going back to a little bit larger size at first, because I really like this kind of small one. I felt like it fit my face better. But since getting the new ones in, I have played with both, so I could really get that feeling of what did both feel like. And I do find that the bigger one is more relaxing and fits in and softens the face a bit better. So there's that going on. Some people do use 2 at a time, so you can do that if you like to. But the other thing I wanted to show you is that we have new spring colors. With that larger size comes new spring colors. So let's check them out. We have this beautiful kind of a French blue. So pretty. I love this one. I believe the name on this one is Orchid. It's like an orchid green. It's so lively. I'm really relating to this green one. This one, remember the name of it. What is the, you'll have to look on the website, but I think this one's maybe like a lilac. Let me highlight the product there now so you guys can see it. But it's a really pretty lilac shade. We have a nice light pink. It's a little different than our previous rose quartz pink, but it's still very soft, very feminine, very pretty. And then this one, the Energy. I love the Energy and the Sunshine one. Should have named it Sunshine. This gold is just gorgeous. And in fact, that's what I think I'm going to use today, is the gold one. So when I'm doing my treatment, the first thing I'm going to do is start with my scalp and just start releasing the scalp area, the back of the scalp, the top of the head. Once you start doing this, it's hard to stop. It's a good thing to do while you're watching TV maybe, but mostly just to close your eyes, listen to some nice soft music. I love Hilary Stagg. As a harpist. He's no longer alive, but those of you who've had treatments with me, you know Hilary Stagg. I play that. That is my relaxing music, and I play it when I do facials. And I highly recommend listening to Hilary Stagg. You can listen to him on Spotify. He's amazing. I believe he died by a car accident. Too young. He died too young because his music was so beautiful. So once I have loosened up all over on my scalp, the back of the scalp, right at that nape, the neck, that's when I am going to now put my hair back, keep my hair from getting stuck in it. And we're going to dive into some other areas. So the next area that you want to work is you want to work on releasing this area, because if we do all this releasing of things up here and this is all tight, this just has nowhere to go. We want these fluids and everything to be able to drain. So our next step is to get in and work that trap muscle. Now today we are starting, let me grab some oil. I'm going to use my Orchid face oil, and we're going to start our treatment. And what I recommend doing at home is starting with that fascia release treatment, and then after your fascia release, that's when we're going to go into lymphatic drainage. But we're going to start here just by breaking up those crystals in the fascia, getting stuff moving in there. And I want to tell you guys, this is a gentle movement, and this is very different than a fascia blaster. Think about a fascia blaster and those little prongs and everything. That is just too rough. Our fascia does need to stay healthy and intact and holding everything up and firm. We don't want to break the fascia. We just want to soften it and release the tension in it. So now I've got a nice little bit of slip and I can really work this trap. I can even go around and work the back of the neck a little bit. What's amazing as you do this is that usually you're going to feel right off the bat a rush of blood flow. So this area is going to become really nice and warm. Sometimes the area will turn very bright pink. And sometimes it'll do that on me, especially if I've been sick. This area will be more tense, it'll be more tender, and then it'll turn bright pink. When it turns bright pink, that is a good thing actually. The pink will fade quickly, but it means that you really need it. The pinker you get, the more you really needed it because you've got some stuck energy in there. So we're going to do both sides of the neck. I hope that you guys have an ANMA in your hands right now so you can just follow right along with me and enjoy how wonderful this feels. All right, let's get this out of the way. Now, once I have done some good release through here, when you're thinking about how many movements, we're talking 5 to 10 movements on each area and what we're doing here. So my next area that I like to work on is the forehead, and actually we usually come right up here in the hairline and right down. And I'm just using light pressure so that it feels good. Now I have occasionally had people reach out to me and say, I used the ANMA on my scalp and I got a migraine or I got a headache. And what I want to say with that is that you need to go slow. You know, it's taken a lifetime to build the tensions that we have, and you need to go slow, and most likely you're needing to use less pressure. If you're getting a headache, it means just use the weight. It goes so light that it's just the weight of the device, which is very light, going over the area, and you're not pressing it down into the skin. So I'm going up and down. I can do some windshield wiper kind of movements on the sides here. Other side. So let's talk a little bit about the anatomy of your ANMA. So your ANMA has this handle that's used primarily for lymphatic drainage, and it has fingers. So these are your fingers, and these are your thumbs. So when you get your ANMA, you are going to get a little instruction sheet with it. Let me find mine. Here we go. Great instruction sheet. I love the diagrams that Jane made for us on this. So in your diagram, you're going to be able to see the lines of movement. So we went up and down on the forehead, side to side, and then you'll see some gray dots. Those gray dots are acupressure points. So part of why Jane changed this up is because she found that these thumbs fit better with the acupressure points that we want to be hitting when we're holding our device. So we've got some acupressure points right above the brow right here. And I have a very small forehead. You can see, I probably like the smaller one. Yeah, for my forehead. It's such a short forehead. But the forehead, 2 points right here. And usually you can find acupressure points by feeling around and where it feels most sensitive. Be a little squishy in that spot and feel a bit sensitive. If you're not sure if you've got the spot, just move it around a little bit. You'll find, oops, there it is, right there. And then just gently hold that. Light pressure. I'm just giving a little circular motion, but not rubbing it off the skin. I carry a lot of tension in my forehead. Those of you who have these lines going this way, you're going to really feel this one. And then take it over to the other side. Find that little tender spot. Oh, there it is right there. Hold this spot. I could take a nap right now. Then the next area we're going to move down. So now I'm going to move to the eye area. And the first thing I do with my eye area is I'm going to line up my brow between two fingers. And I'm just going to do very gently, more gentle even than my forehead. I'm doing this back and forth. This is my windshield wipers on my eyebrows. Releasing all that tension around the orbital area. I'm a squinter. I come from my dad was a huge squinter. He's always looking like there's a lot of tension that we carry in our genes all around this eye area. So when I first started doing this, this was actually quite painful for me. I use very light pressure. Can get out here on this little outer area because we have these crow's feet, so you can see where that tension is created there. So get your little feet lined up, your fingers lined up, and do some massaging there. And then I'm going to come underneath and do some very gentle fascia release underneath the eye. And then let's do the other eye. So we're going to come over and do my windshield wipers between the brows, the fingers, the brow between the fingers. Five to 10 movements. Come out here, this little area. And then I'm going to get underneath the eye very gently. And then I'm going to take my thumbs. And because I have so much tension in this area, I can use my thumbs and do a little bit of back and forth right here on my 11s. Get along the ridge in here. Loosen that up. Same thing on the other side. And then I can do my acupressure points, sorry. So an acupressure point here and one right up in here. So finding those two acupressure points and then just gentle pressure holding. Just count to 10 or so. It's good. And then the same thing, we have this tension right out here. So I'm going to come out here, find those little tense spots and do my acupressure out here. For me, I really feel it on this lower foot, the lower thumb right there. I'm going to come inside here. Do the same thing. Find those two spots right there. Nice gentle hold. And then come out here. Right there. And now we get to go to the fun part where we really get to use all these fingers together at once. And that first move that's so easy, we all do automatically. When you pick up an Amma, this is the first thing you do. And it's just breaking up that fascia tension and those little crystals in this cheek area, underneath the eyes, and that nasal labial fold. Get a lot of stagnation right in here. Working that back and forth. Let's do the other side. I already feel my sinuses opening up, and we haven't even gotten to the lymphatic drainage yet. And now we've gone this direction. Let's get some up and down action. So let's just go sideways over here. The other side. We've got an acupressure point right out here on the TMJ. So those of you who have a very tight TMJ, you're going to use the very lightest of pressure out here. Another important thing that you can do if you have a lot of TMJ, and for all of us really, is to add in a bit of movement going all the way back to the ear in here. And just really working in this whole connective area above the ear and into the face right there, and releasing that area. Again, that acupressure point is right here. Coming in and holding that a few times until the tenderness is gone. It's very helpful. The next two acupressure points, here and here. These are, so good for me to do. So I am that perpetual frowner. I've noticed I even frown when I am chewing my food. So I frown. So when I do this, the place where I feel it the most is right down there. Definitely there's a tightness in that muscle there. That feels pretty good. And we're going to come over here. Same thing. We want to get in and find the TMJ. And let's not forget to do some loosening of this area. Oh, that's really good for me. This is tight all through here. So this whole quadrant of this above the ear coming in through here, just getting in there, and there's no one movement that's right. Like, I'm not going to tell you just go this direction or just go this direction. With fascia, it's everywhere. It goes every direction. So it's not like a muscle that you've got to work cross fiber or anything like that. So you can just come in here and see what feels good. That's what's going to be really soothing and relaxing and release this area. So I'm just getting all up above my ear, finding all that tension there. And then I'm going to come back again with my thumb and see if it's I still got a little tight spot here. And just relax. I'm going to try not to talk while I relax into this spot. And then again, we are coming down and working on this little area right here. So you have an acupressure point right about up there and right below there. There it is. For me, I find when I'm hitting this one down here, it's a little bit of a downward pressure that really kind of gets in and gets that point really well. But you can experiment for you what angle gives you the best sensation. So let's not forget the lips and the chin. So I'm taking my small fingers here, back and forth on my chin. I'm going to go above the lip too, because I carry tension there. We all do. So now I'm kind of doing that windshield wiper movement where I had a finger above and below the brow. Now it's on the mouth. This really increases blood flow to the mouth. So your mouth tissue, your vermilion line is going to be better. You're going to have more blood flow, pinker lips through here from doing this. Fuller lips because you're going to have hyaluronic acid moving. Your body has natural hyaluronic acid, and by using your ANMA, we're increasing that flow. So we're going to have plumper lips. Just get all around the mouth. Yay. And now really, that's pretty good. That's it for our fascia release. And you know, if you wanted to split things up, you could do this fascia release at night, 'cause it's so relaxing. And then do your lymphatic drainage in the morning. Because when we're doing lymphatic drainage, it's also going to affect and soften the fascia. But let's get a little bit on this jawline. We didn't do that, did we? Let's get there. But now what I want to do is move into that lymphatic drainage, because lymphatic drainage is so important to the total vitality of your skin. It's what's going to prevent a double chin. It's what's going to keep things firm. It's what's going to help with that nasolabial fold, with that puffiness under the eyes. We've really got to move lymph along, and that's what's going to help our skin to be healthier from the cells on out, right? So the first thing we want to do before we do lymphatic drainage, I'm just doing a little knocking motion right on my sternum, loosening things up in here. Now I'm going to use my bar, and I'm going to use sweeping movements across the top of my chest. It's kind of in with my rib cage toward my armpit. So I'm flushing this area out. Now there's two ways that you can use this device. One way would be you're putting the blunt edge right on here, but it's actually a little better if you tilt it a little bit to the side. You're gonna get a better, excuse me, you're going to get a better squeegeeing. If you think of it, what we're doing is we're squeegeeing that lymph along. This is one thing, but to actually hold it like this creates a better squeegee effect. So I'm squeegeeing through here. I'm going to do the other side. Again, 5 to 10 movements. And then I like to use my thumbs for clearing out the collarbone. It's easier to do with the opposite hand. There we go. So I have one thumb on top, one thumb on the bottom, draining outward. 5 drains there. Let's do 5 on this side. Then we come right into the sides of the neck. We want to clear out the sides, so we're doing this downward motion from right below the ear, coming right on down. This is a good tempo right here. You don't want to speed through this too fast. Lymph moves very slow through the body. And if you ever go for a lymphatic drainage massage, it's so soothing and relaxing, but it moves so slow that it just puts you to sleep. So 5 on that side. Let's do the other side. This is shaped just perfectly for this area. Again, I'm using the side of the bar rather than the top of the bar. Wonderful. Now we can come up to the top. And so now we're going to work on lymphatic drainage, working our way down. We've cleared all this out. It's ready to receive some movement. So we can come right up here to the forehead, and I'm going to do 5 strokes on each side. Let's do one side of the face at a time. So we're going to work one side down, and then we'll work the other side down. So we've got 5 movements there. Now I'm going to hit right over, close my eye, and right over the top of that eye, very gently. Now, everyone's face is shaped differently. If something doesn't feel good to you with your face shape, try less pressure, try shifting the device a little bit and make it comfortable for you. And then we can come right under here, right onto the cheeks. I like to make sure that I'm getting this little ridge in here where all those acupressure points were, getting right in there, grabbing everything and just smoothing it out. I think that was about 5 times. Now, when I reach my halfway point in my face, look at the difference already, you guys. I love it. So once I reach the halfway point here, then I'm going to come along this outer edge and just push down what's collected here so far, all the way down. Now I can come in a little bit lower. So now I'm on this lip area, pulling it over. Again, this is slow and it's gentle. It's just enough pressure. It almost feels like a suction. You're not creating suction, but it almost feels like that as we're moving all that fluid back. We want to get right onto that jawline here, coming from right here. And I like to do this movement, pull it here and then pull it down. So let's clear out the bottom half of the face now. Deep breaths. Now, we all want to keep this jawline, right? So let's get in there with our thumbs and let's do some drainage on this area. Particularly wanting to get underneath here, clearing from this little point. This little point right here is a nice acupressure point that you can stick your little thumb. It's like right up under the palate there. And then use that and push it back, draining all of that back. There is an acupressure point right here on the chin. I don't remember if we did that one. You can hit that point. I also like to hit right up here, so right under the nose, and then right there, and then we're coming in and we're draining all that back. Now we can get in with our little fingers and we're gonna come up and down. So I got my little fingers. Your fingers can even go on the chin. They could go this way and down. You can do it both ways, and you can come in just underneath rather than both one on top and one on the bottom. Come in underneath. And then you can turn over again and use that more suction-y kind of movement. Let's get there we go. So I've got my bigger end of it coming right underneath here. And I'm doing that gliding movement. And you can see I've done many more than 5, probably even more than 10 in this area, because all of this has been coming down to this area. And now we really want to make sure that we are moving that lymph down and out. This is where we're going to help. For me, you can see it. I get this little lump of looser skin coming down from our frowny spot. There, if I go that, you can really kind of see. This is what I'm working, and you can see a little bit of loss of skin density right here. That's what my tri-wave goes after. We're going to do, I'll show you guys how to do all of these same movements with the tri-wave, but the tri-wave is what's going to get in there and work on this loss of skin density. And it's way more firming than even this can possibly be on this jawline, doing the lymphatic drainage with your tri-wave. But this still does pretty great. And for most of you who are younger, especially, I love that I have so many clients using this right down into their 20s. You know, 20s and 30s, this is that device to really get started with. I love that. Keeping all of this lymphatic area well draining so I'm nice and healthy. Okay, that's one side of the face. What a difference. And this is my droopy eye, you guys. So, look at that, cheekbones defined. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, let's head over here to this side and let's do, starting at the top here again, we're doing 5 movements. Draining from the top down. We're going to hit our acupuncture. Oh no, we did our acupressure already. Okay, we're going to head down and then we're going to do the eyes. Experiment. I've got the big side down and I don't think it feels that great, so I'm going to switch it around. And yeah, that feels a lot better. If you start to lose slip, just add a little bit more oil. Or you can spritz with a little bit of hydrosol. Either one will give you a good result. And just right under the eye here. Again, using the side angle of my device rather than going straight down on it. I've got this nice side angle going here. Dragging everything back and out. Now let's go get what we've done so far. Now this movement, I think I could flip it around. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, and now I'm going to flip big side back up. Thumbs up again. I'm going to come down a little lower on the face this time. And you guys keep doing that. I'm gonna run and shut an office door so that we don't have to listen to Michelle talk about legal stuff. Yes, that's much better. Okay, here we go. So now move down onto over the lips. Again, you know, fiddle with it and see which angle feels better. I still like thumbs up for me. Thumbs up. Come right in on this jawbone. And let's drain now what we've done here. Now let's get a little more defined. This is where we're gonna get our thumbs in here. And I think this angle for me works. There we go. So I'm getting this good point under here, good pressure underneath the jawline, and just dragging those fluids out to the earlobe. Tell you that muscle for me, it needs more work. I can always work on that frown muscle. Just feels good. Okay, I can take both underneath now, do a little bit more under here, but I can really just start moving it down, out and down. I can switch to my handle and down. This is perfect lymphatic drainage coming up here and then bringing it down. Angled up and down. And that's how easy it is. We talked a lot. I talked a lot through this, so it took me a little longer than it would take on a normal day, but most days it's just a quick 5, no talking, and we're through this really quickly. You can save this video, or you can come back and see this video and practice it with me a few days in a row. That way you'll really get it down. I'm also making a more concise pre-recorded video for you guys so that you can just push the button and it'll just take you through the movements really fast as well. So a little more clearing here. I just can't stop now. It just feels so good. So I want to open up to questions. So if you guys have any questions about what we're doing today, I'm moderating for myself, so I will see the chat questions right over there. I want to remind people, actually I'll type it in the chat. So if you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, head over to the website to get involved with the live chat. That's where you can talk to me right now, person to person, through our video. And I'm going to type a message on here, and it's going to tell you about some free gifts, some things like that. So you'll have to be on our website to see those messages. But let's get it typed in here. Okay, so I've just got one thing that's going on the website, and I'll tell you what that is, because you just go there and you see that through the end of this week, and this is pretty much the end, I'm not sure if it ends today or tomorrow, we have a deluxe Orgade sample pack for you guys. So if you spend $100 or more on anything on the website, you're gonna get this sample pack that gives you one of every sample from Orgade. And then let's see that we have a GWP, which is a gift with purchase, and you need a special code for it. And so I'm typing it in here. And I will show you what that is. This is a gift with purchase. This is for any purchase that you make in the Orgade line this week. So anything that you buy from Orgade, we've got the wonderful oil, we have the wonderful cleansing oil or face oil, all those wonderful things. When you purchase anything from that line, you get this great travel bag. It's a vegan leather. It's really pretty. It's nice and roomy. It's satin lined and really nice. So that's our gift for you guys for hanging out with me this week and watching my videos. And I'm not seeing any questions coming in, so let's see if I missed anything anywhere. Nope. We got all the questions answered. So you guys now are pros using your ANMA. And thanks for joining me today. I hope you are inspired, freshly inspired to get it out and use it, because we all do fall out of good habits and need to pick them up again. And the ANMA is a good habit. So I hope that you will be inspired after watching this to get your ANMA out and give yourself some nice self-love and self-care this week. All right, you guys, take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we will see you again soon. Thank you, Sarah.